Following video is brought to you by the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. Please consider liking and subscribing for more Boston sports content.
Shot to right, slicing toward the pesky pole down the line. It's going to be out of here. Line down the right field line toward the pesky pole. Leaping up, and that ball is gone. That's a home run. A lot of our Nesson team as well. High fly down the right field line, headed toward the pesky pole. That one tucked in, and that ball is going to leap against the wall and into second base. Number retired, and now Rafael Devers trying to retire that baseball inside the pesky pole.
Welcome to another episode of the Pesky Podcast. I'm your host, The Rit. With me, like always, is the OG George Sutherland and our producer, Brandon. We're here with episode 139 with our special guest, Payton Tolle, brought to you by the Boston Sports Entertainment Network. Before we get to our guest, man, I get winded after that for a while. We might need to dub audio in for this soon. So, but George, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. A little busy, getting prepared to take a much-needed vacation, and but you'll see my smiling face over the next few broadcasts. I'll just be doing it from the road. So, just getting ready to hit the road.
And Brandon, man, what's going on, man? How you doing?
It's going good, man. You think that the off season, you go, okay, I can breathe a little bit, but then you come up with content ideas and stuff. And then, the free agent and trade frenzy. It's like there's almost more stuff going on in the off season than there is during the actual season for guys like us. So it's been pretty crazy, but crazy good.
I actually love the off season because of the reason we get to sit down with, the plethora of guests that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Noah Dean on, we've had Drew Earhart on, we got the chicken farmer, Blake Wehunt, Conley Early. Now, we're going to go right to our guest, the 50th overall pick in the 2024 draft from now. Payton, you and I are going to have some sort of differences because I'm a Longhorns fan.
Oh,
and you got drafted from the great college TCU. So
yeah, hey, I won't hold that against you yet. So we'll just we can go back in the stat book or something to that Friday night or something. But hey, I won't say anything else other than that.
Okay. But Payton, man, how's it going? How's your off season coming along? And what's just been going on for you?
Oh, it's been great. I also have to say that probably the best intro to a podcast that I've ever seen. But the off season's going great. Just came back from Fort Myers. Been doing the off season training program down there with the guys and getting to meet guys like Wehunt, like Connolly, and Dean. All those guys were down there with us, and that was a really neat experience. Just because for guys like me and a bunch of the new draft guys, I think we had 2 or 3 pitchers that went up and played after the draft. But for us, other guys that just kind of sat there in the at the complex, it was really neat to see those guys, and we got to talk to them a lot, got to ask a bunch of questions, and they were really open to talking to us too. So overall, it's been a really, really good off season. It's I would say it's a little different. I don't have to worry about finals next week. I don't have to worry about the homework or anything like that. I just met with a couple of guys from TCU today, and they're like, "Yeah, we got finals week coming up." I'm like, couldn't be more thankful I don't have to worry about that. But it's been great. It's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, so we've, like you said, we've had on a lot of people that were down there in Fort Myers with you, and one thing that like Noah's been talking about, Conley's been talking about, Drew, is the closeness that you guys get down there. So, what was that like, being down there with them compared to how close you were with some of your teammates at TCU?
It's very, I would say it's pretty similar. It's being down there, you get, I don't want to say you're forced to hang out with each other, but like you get done with the off season program about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and you have that time to hang out outside of baseball, go golfing, just hanging out, watching college football. So it's very similar. Just you're trying to escape from that the baseball world for a little bit. And yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun because you get to talk to people that you never thought you'd ever talk to, and like one guy, or Garrett Whitlock, talked to him, great guy, like just super open, and was open to answering all the questions that we had. So it's a lot of fun. And it's cool that you can just right there now, whatever level you go through next year, the likelihood that somebody, you have that familiar face is high. So it's definitely a special experience, and it was good. It was good to have that. So
Now, when you said golf, you mean golf, or because I know a couple of you guys down there play disc golf.
I'm in the golf right now. Or I shouldn't say I'm into it. I'm attempting to do to golf, but I can't get with the frisbee, the disc golf yet. It's that's a little different. I've tried it a couple times before. I'm like, this is a little different to me. Like, I went with one of my buddies is like super into it. He's like, I got my putter disc and my driving disc and my 50-yard disc. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. Like, let's just get a frisbee out and use it. But it's that's a different sport. But no, doing golf, and it's been a lot of fun. You get out there with the guys that get a little chippy out there, and 18 holes, and you get tired of each other kind of quick, and some words fly, so people get called some names, but in the end, it's all fun and games. So yeah.
Cool. So I was looking when we lead up to today to come on, and getting taken 50th overall is that's pretty impressive. Did you have any idea that the Red Sox were really looking at you to go like in the second round, or have they been sniffing around, or were there other teams that you thought were slightly more interested and you would probably end up going there?
It was I would have to say the draft process was very interesting because I had absolutely no idea. And I remember talking to my agent. He's like, "Well, it's pretty close to a 50-50 shot whether you go day one or not." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, it felt like I was in a good position for everything, but there's a scout. He's with West Virginia right now, Chris Riley, and I got to talk to him quite a bit. I met him a few years ago. My mom talked to him at some thing I was at, and they became good friends and talked for a while. And so I knew him, and he was a great guy. I got to talk to him quite a bit, but even talking to him, I was like, still have no idea like what's gonna happen. And um, the only time I knew anything was about 15 picks before me. My agent texted me, was like, the Red Sox are kicking the tires on you. So like, be prepared. And then he called me and said, "Do you want to be excited or do you want to know?" And I'm like, "I want to be excited. I want to be excited." So that was about 5 picks before the Red Sox picked me. And then, I mean, after that, it was just dream come true after that. So
Were you home or you were in school?
I was home. I was home.
Yeah.
It was me, dad, brother, and some family friends. So we tried to play it off as it's just a spaghetti Sunday, and we're just gonna have dinner. We're gonna watch the draft. We're gonna not expect anything. if it happens tonight, great. But if it happens tomorrow, also great. But um, it happened, and just being able to share that moment with everybody was really special.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously, like you were saying, high pick last year. You haven't been with the organization long, but what's your first impression of the pitching program that Bailey and the others have put in place?
I'm loving it because it is. We walked in there and they said we're gonna be big and we're gonna throw hard. I'm like, I think I got one of those down. Let's start throwing harder. And so it's been fun. It's been a lot of different stuff. I've been throughout high school, throughout college. I've been pretty stock when it comes to throw in with drive line balls and uh, different drills, and I've pretty much just been long toss and figure everything else out, and to kind of get in and to try new things, and has been it's been a lot of fun. And Justin Willard has been really smart. He's really passionate about what he's doing, and it's been good. It's been fun to try some new things out, and I'm excited to kind of see how the progress keeps tracking. So.
Awesome.
Well, Payton, a lot of people in the Red Sox, the fan base is like, we don't know how to develop pitchers because we don't have a very good track record. We always, traded for them.
Mm-hmm.
But, you being drafted 50th overall, the last time the Red Sox did that was 2017. And that was a young man that we, are really good with. Mr. Halkamania himself, Tanner Houck. So, there's a lot of similarities with you two. You guys are both big guys. and it's funny how we see this, Andrew Bailey, Breslow, like everybody, okay, now we're starting to draft pitchers, and you are like the first of this regime. So how does that make you feel out of all the pitchers coming along? They drafted you as like the stepping stone for them.
It's fun. I try not to think that much of it because we're still now we're all at the same spot and we're all on the same starting block, and the work is still going to be done. And I had a high school coach, he called me after, and I was expecting like, oh, congratulations, like it's awesome, and he called me and was just like, great job, but like this isn't the end goal. Like the end goal is to get up, get the big leagues, and make a difference. And that's really what I want to do is just focus on what I need to do to get better and what I need to do to make it up to the Red Sox, and to put myself in the best position and win World Series. And to be told that kind of the front runner of that, like I'm here for it, but it's also there's so many other guys that you guys like Shea Sprague, Stephen Brooks, Ben Hansen, so many other all the pitchers in this, Devin Futrell, like all the guys in this draft. It's we're already ready to start going, and it's fun. Maybe someday I'll get a cool nickname like Halkamania, or but yeah, for right now I'm okay with just Payton Tolle. But yeah, it's fun. It's a exciting time to be a part of the organization. So
well, Payton, we're not going to toot our own horn here, but we're going to toot our own horn. We actually came up with the name Halkamania for Tanner Houck. Jonathan Papelbon helped us get that way. So don't worry. George and I and Brandon, we're going to sit there and keep an eye on you. We're going to be getting you a nickname here as soon as one springs up.
That sounds good. I'm excited to hear. As long as it's family friendly. I don't care
Oh
if
yeah.
it's family friendly or not. That's okay.
Well, that's the first. That's the first. That's the first effort. After that, depending on how you feel about it, we can go down that road too. Whoops, there he is.
What was that?
You probably got
Are
a
we
phone
good?
call or a text message. Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh no.
No, you.
I did something wrong here. What just
I
happened?
don't think he can hear us.
Oh no.
You're
I
good.
can't hear you guys. No.
We can hear
Oh
you.
no. I cannot hear you guys.
Okay, I just private chatted him, so hopefully you can.
Somebody just tried to call me.
Yep.
There we go. We're back.
There we
Okay.
go.
Alright.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties. As soon as someone tries to call you, it takes away you from the screen, and then it takes away your microphone where you can't hear us. So
yeah, my bad. I
No.
should have done it on my computer.
Happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
so
Yeah. So, since you've gotten down to the complex, what are the things that the organization's working with you on? Are they trying to tinker with your delivery? You got a pretty good fastball and a decent slider. Are they trying to get develop a third pitch, or what kind of things are they working to make you better, and maybe get you thinking a little bit differently when you take the hill?
Yeah, I think one thing is kind of not really touching the fastball, kind of just letting the fastball be the fastball. But adding those other off-speed pitches is going to be, I think, what's going to really take what I have higher. And so, been working heavy with the changeup, and heavy with a sweeper, and trying to figure out what kind of works for me, what grips work, how am I gonna use them, so it's very it's a trial and error process, and just trying to figure out what is going to work, uh, how comfortable am I going to be with something, and um, I think we were on our third changeup grip and second sweeper grip, and just trying to figure that kind of stuff out, just to take whatever I have and take it to the next level, because it's one thing going from Big 12 hitters, or even you go back to American Conference hitters, to Big 12 hitters, and now Big 12 hitters into professional hitter. And throwing 75% heaters is not going to work. It's gonna take a lot more than that, and adding those off speed pitches is gonna be what drives that force. But yeah, not a whole lot of mechanical stuff. Maybe little tweaks here and there of just trying to be on time, but yeah, really, really trying to hammer those off speeds. So
Cool.
Awesome.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. You got to talk to me about what's behind you, because that is probably one of the coolest things that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's our bat wall. So me and my brother for about the past 10 years have been working, and every time we break a bat, it goes up there, which is probably not a good thing. That probably means we're making terrible contact and getting jammed too much, or hitting off the end too much. But it's been a fun process with them all, and it's something that shows hard work, and uh, a lot of money spent on bats. But my dad, he's a very handy man, and a lot of these bats here are bats that he made outside in our shed, and he does a little gets the billet and spins it, and at first it took him about 8 hours to build a bat. Now he can do it in 3. So
Wow.
he's been
impressive.
doing that for a few years now, and it's been it's saved us some money. But and I'm like, you gotta start selling these, and he tries to. It's just hadn't quite taken off yet, but it's going to. It's going to.
You got to try stuff, and it seems like he's pretty talented, and I got to say, that doesn't necessarily seem like a bad thing to me, because it's a wall of remembering to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know,
And I bet every one of those bats that's a hurt hand right there. Just that stinging. Ah. But
So
yeah,
now, on the opposite wall, as a full-time pitcher now, you can start collecting bats that you broke.
yeah.
The opposing hitters, just even if they're just splinter pieces, just to, like, stick them in your back pocket, and
Yeah.
another trophy for the wall.
Oh yeah, I think that's what's got to be next. But we'll I'll try to get my
good.
first one, and then we'll see if I can really if I'm even going to be able to do that. It might just be one bat up there, but it'll be the coolest possession in the house.
Oh yeah,
Instead of going like this when they want the ball, you'll be like, "Give me that bat."
Hey, I'll give you $20 for that broken bat right there, and that's way overpriced.
It just be like, I'll give you $20 for the bat, and I'll have my dad make you another one.
Exactly.
yeah. I know a guy. Yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna run up to the concourse and enter the free bat giveaway. That's the broken bat of the game or something. So, but yeah, I
Jokes
like that.
aside, pumping your dad out like that, like you give me that broken bat, and my dad will give you a few more. Like that's a great way to get his business out there too.
That's what. Yeah. Gotta
Cross
get the
promotion is
name out
key.
there. Absolutely, I like that. So.
Well, sitting there getting the brand out there, we're going to take a brief little time out to throw out our sponsor, Castoreno Baseball Development. Make sure you go out, check them out, and we're going to play the video first.
Are you tired of being overlooked by college recruiters and professional scouts? Are your metrics so low that your bat speed doesn't sell you? Well, guess what? We have your solution. We have our dynamic Bat Speed Accelerator Training Program, now available by us.
That's Castoreno Baseball Development. George, talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, I mean they're different. I mean, they believe that they can help you on your time. They maximize your times because they understand that you're busy. They can do it remotely, which is different from most places. You have to usually get, you hop a bus, hop a train, hop a car, or fly. But these guys are really, really different. They advertise themselves as being family friendly and valuing your time to make you better. So everything that we've seen, I've been extremely impressed with. So,
yeah, absolutely. So, Payton, let's talk a little bit about we could talk about this college. Wichita State stuff. You were a two-way player there, and so what did you like better, in high school and at Wichita State? Because the Red Sox, they already stated that they're just going to solely keep you as a pitcher and stuff. So, but if you want to pick up a bat, don't always throw that out there every now and then. Be like, hey, you want me to go in and pinch hit for the guy? I can do it.
Yeah, I'm good. Skip.
I think my hitting days might be behind me, but I have said like, hey, I can go take the live BP out there. I can go try to show those guys what's up, but but I don't know. It was two-way was a lot of fun, and it was exciting to be able to do that at Wichita State, and having a coaching staff that was open to the idea of that, and it was there was obviously with like same age as Jack Caglione, but you haven't really you've had those two-way guys in the past, but you see Shohei, you see Caglione go, and it's like you start okay, like this two-way thing is like it's more doable than a little bit we once thought, and but I really enjoyed doing it, and I was like, I'm gonna ride the two-way train as long as I can, and it just happened at TCU, but you know, take a step back from hitting, but it was for a good reason though. Like obviously I would not be here today if I was still hitting. I don't think because hitting is fun and it can be mentally draining sometimes. I'm sure some hitters would say the same about pitching, but yeah, I mean, Wichita State was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that it was a perfect opportunity for me to go somewhere and make a difference early, and it was which it was incredible for me. The people there was incredible, and like I couldn't have seen it going any other way. If I went to some bigger school early on, it wouldn't have worked out the way it did, and but yeah, super thankful for my time there.
So what are your thoughts on probably the best two-way player, Shohei Ohtani? Like,
hmm
what are your thoughts on him, on the unbelievable stuff that he's been able to show that he can do?
I mean, I don't know what there is to say about him that hasn't been said. It's ridiculous, and it's just kind of one of those things. Like you just watch him play, and it's just waiting for what is he going to do now, and I think it's going to be even more exciting. I'm sure he'll start pitching, after because he had TJ and stuff. So whenever he's pitching again next year, it'll be interesting to see if it if his hitting will stay the same, if like one will dip. Because I mean, back 2 years ago, it was just elite at both, and it's to be a guy that has done both at a college level. It's like I couldn't even imagine doing both. Like that is so much stress on your body and stress mentally. It's very it's just so impressive, and you just got to sit back and watch and just eat popcorn and enjoy the show. So yeah.
So when you were growing up, uh, who was your favorite player, your favorite team? Who'd you try to model your game after? Some guys do it with batting stances or how they throw or things like that.
Yeah.
Who's your guy growing up?
So being from Oklahoma, I grew up with those, those 10, 11, 12 Rangers teams. And my guy was Josh Hamilton. And I thought he was so cool. I still believe like, if he could go back and redo it, he'd be one of the best players to play the game. And, he was a guy that I loved watching. As far as pitching side goes, like that's also like prime Mad Bum. Like you got him, the Rangers guys, Derek Holland, C.J. Wilson, and then I mean it's just there's a lot of those guys that I remember I would do the little over the head like Derek Holland did, and it's it's one of those things like, oh well, it works for him because it works for him. That's not me. But yeah, like there's David Murphy, Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler. I think at some point I could have named that entire lineup for that one of those teams, but that was kind of my team growing up, and it's a lot of fun to have that team close by and then having the success that they did, but yeah, I think that those Rangers team, and then it just turned into a love for baseball after that. A love for every team except the Yankees is what I would say. So it worked out.
They're gonna love you in Boston, man.
It worked out. I tell you what, that was one of the first things I said after I got drafted. I was like, I can officially hate the Yankees, and I loved it. Yeah.
So, talking about the love of baseball, because we talked to you before the podcast, so you told some stuff on here already about just loving the game. Doesn't have to be Major League. What's the coolest baseball thing that you've ever witnessed in person?
Man, there's been a lot. It's just like there were a couple games at TCU that obviously we didn't make the playoff or anything, but like those first weekends of I think it's like a 15 and 0, 13 and 0, whatever. Really good start to the year. And kind of the games that we walked off, I think 3 or 4 of them. And it was like walk off opening day. We had I don't know if this probably was like, okay, that's just a dumb baseball moment. We had the walk off drop third strike, and it was one of the most incredible, craziest things I've ever seen, because he strikes out, swings and misses the ball that was way too high. And it was Jack Arthur, and he could tell you it was way too high. And it kind of like stands. I was like, run! And he gets the first, and it's like the guy from second's coming around to score. It's like, oh my, like what's going on? It's just mass chaos everywhere. But that was a really fun moment. That was, and then I had my freshman year. We had a walk-off home run against Kansas. It was really neat. And then, but I mean, there's so many little moments. As like, if I go back and look at a picture, it's like, this is what happened at that play, or like, this is the game that this happened. So there's a bunch of moments. Like I was at back in COVID, we went to the Game 7 of Dodgers Braves. I was in Arlington, and Cody Bellinger hit a home run in the 7th, and like that was a neat experience to see all that. But it was in my first game where we were up in Boston. I'm probably rambling right now, but I could talk about this for days. But up in Boston is the Friday night game against the Yankees, and Judge hits a home run to go up, and the Red Sox come back. It was Devers hit a home run, I think, but it was such a fun. That was a fun experience, just first time being in Fenway, and it's I mean, I could name moments all up and down my life that were just special to me. So
That's what being a fan is all about, and
oh yeah,
you as a player as well. We just love the game.
Absolutely.
So spring trainings, it's going to be your first spring training with the Red Sox. You already was down in Fort Myers, but I like talking to people, Noah and Conley and them. They all were like a little starstruck, seeing Chris Sale down there, pitch. So who's the one guy that you think if you see in spring training down there that you're just going to be in awe to see?
Man, I mean, I shell up pretty good. Easily. We met. Giolito was down there in Fort Myers. It was kind of a, you see him on TV, but then you see him in person. It's like, that dude's big. But so that was kind of a cool one. But man, like I think if Devers Jan Duran walked up to me and was like, "Hey, you're in my spot," I might freeze. Like he might be one that he might be the one that I'm like, oh, that's gonna be really neat whenever I meet him. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be fun just to, I don't know how much big league guys and minor league guys overlap, but to kind of be able to watch them work, how they handle their business that's gonna be something I'm looking forward to about spring training. So,
man, Payton, and you're talking about current. I'm thinking, what are you gonna do if you're out there throwing and Pedro comes up to you and like, hey, why don't we try this?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'd probably just start stumbling over words, but having D'Angelo, so we have D'Angelo Ortiz with us, and he was on FaceTime with Big Poppy, and I looked over his shoulders like, Dave, what's up? But like if he came up and talked to me in person, I'd be like, "Hello, Mr. Ortiz, sir. It's very nice to meet you." But it's. I mean, it's gonna be a whole lot of fun because, from what I can tell, you never know who's gonna show up at spring training. So
It's true. So, what do you do to unwind? What off the field? What's your
Mhm.
what do you like to do? Game, hunt, fish, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think recently the golf is kind of taking up time. I mean, it's attempting to golf, but it's been taking it up. But I like cooking. I'm a cook. I mean, I've gained 40 pounds because I can cook a little. Yeah, I can't. I I can really read a box. I'll tell you that. There's some good box meals out there, but like cooking. I'm a huge family guy. I'm a huge people guy. I like hanging out with people. I can't sit in a room and look at a screen for 4 hours. I gotta have some people interaction. Um, so there's a lot of things that I do is like, I'll go over to my buddy's house, we'll just play ping pong or play pool and just hang out for a couple hours. But I like, as far as like actual hobbies go, like I've tried fishing, just not that patient of a person. Although it is a lot of fun. Me and Alex Bouchard went out there and went fishing a few times. I'm like, okay, it can be relaxing if I try to relax. Other than that, I'm not patient enough. But yeah, I think just trying to. I just like people. So I like, maybe that's my hobby, is being a people person. So
Nothing the matter with that, man. That works.
Yeah, I can tell you guys from being from a family of hunters and fishermen, it is not a patient. It's you gotta have patience.
Yeah, it tests you.
If you don't have that, find a different hobby.
Yeah, it tests you. It tests you for sure. It's like we
It
went
does.
up. We'll go up in high school. We would go up a couple times and go shoot guns at the land that my dad's family has, and it's like, I'm tired of waiting. Let's just shoot. Like, I just want to shoot something. Like, set up some cans or something. Yeah, not the patient kind. So
No. So switching back to baseball for a second, for the fans out there, so they know, you're kind of new to the organization. So for the fans, what is your game? Like, you a strikeout guy, ground ball guy?
um, I would say it has morphed. Early at Wichita State, I was kind of just to get soft contact and get outs however I need to. But this past year at TCU, it definitely turned into being a strikeout guy, and I just trying to. I'm gonna compete. It's I like to say that the way I pitch is a little bit of a. I'm gonna give you the chance to hit it. It's just your job to hit it. So I like competing. I like going right at guys, and that's kind of what I like to sell myself as, is just, I'm gonna compete. And the other thing too is like, I hope whenever you guys watch me pitch, you have as much fun watching me pitch as much fun as I'm having out there pitching, because it is so fun to me, and it can be frustrating at times. But like at the end of the day, it's baseball, and I'm having a ball out there. So I'm really excited to you know, pitch in front of fans again. It's been a while. It's just, but it's I'm excited about it all, and but yeah, that's. I mean, I guess I could go further into it, but that's a little snapshot of what you're gonna get. So
Yeah, and I can tell you from the fan side of it, I am going to have fun watching you pitch. I watch so much minor league baseball, it's not even funny,
yeah,
especially when it comes to the Sox. So I'll probably be watching on there and maybe even texting you afterwards. So
that's perfect. That's perfect.
So, Peyton, who was the hardest person in your career so far that you've had getting out or tried to get out?
Hmm. This is gonna be an interesting one. It's not gonna be is Brock Rodden. He's with the Mariners organization now. I played with him at Wichita State. Switch hitter. You know, he's another Oklahoma guy, but he was up there at Wichita State with me. And I say him because every single time We faced him in an inter squad, me and him. I couldn't get him out. I I could get him. I could get him to hit ground balls. I could get him, but just somehow he wouldn't get out, and it was so frustrating because we go back in the locker room and he's like, "Got to you again today." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I get it. Like it's cool, like, but great, good job. It's your job. I want you to do good." But he 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 was so hard to get out sometimes. But as far as like competing against, there were a couple like Spikerman at OU. He was always a tough out. He had some long ABs with me, and those were, it was like, dude, you could have, he hit a little backside single. It's like, dude, you could have hit that on the fourth pitch, but you're doing it on the 14th pitch. Like, just all right. Like, let's just get on base. We're gonna get on base. But there's a bunch out there that I'm sure that I don't think about that they could like Lenny Ashby. He was at New Mexico and he was at Kansas and faced him multiple times. Every time I faced that guy, he was hitting the wall or he was waking up the apartment building across the street. He it's like it's just weird. It's like I do good against the whole rest of the lineup. Then he comes at the bat. He's gonna hit the ball hard. It's the weirdest thing, but yeah, I'm not afraid to admit it. There's those guys out there that it's like for whatever reason, it just somehow goes down the middle for them. But yeah,
Who's someone in the organization that you're looking forward to having some live BP against?
speaking of D'Angelo Ortiz, he talks a little too much. He talks a little smack that I'm ready to have a live BP against him. Christian Campbell is a guy that I'm really excited to watch hit. Uh, you know, I like being down there with him. I'll sit there and I'll talk. He talks to me and Shay Sprague about. He'll. I remember we were sitting in the tub one day and he was like, "So what do you like to throw first pitch? Like no hi, no what's up, just like what do you like to throw first pitch?" I was like, "That's a baseball player right there. Like that. That is exciting." And so he's one that I'm ready to see with my eyes and. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's, like Zach Earhart. He was at Oklahoma State, so I got to face him already. And he almost got me once, but there's a lot of guys. The list will go on of guys that I like. All right, like we'll start talking smack back and forth. It's like, oh, we'll just settle this on the field. Like, let's go 1-on-1. Let's go out there right now. But but yeah, I think D'Angelo that he might take the cake right now.
Little inter squad action going on. That nothing matter with that. So, given all that you've accomplished and some of your experiences, you went to college, you switched schools, you got drafted by a major league organization. What would you tell your 12-year-old self?
Tell you what, 12-year-old me was a little bit of a head case, and it took a while for me to get around to really loving the game. And I think I would tell him what my mom always told me is like, one, play with joy, and two, show people why you love baseball. And I think it would take the pressure off him. He would just go out there and have a great time. He would have fun with his friends, and like it would, going into that. Like I remember multiple times in middle school and then first 2 years of high school, of like, it was little Peyton got mad and threw a helmet, and it's like there's no need for that. Like I understand you're not happy, but like take a step back and use some perspective and realize that yeah, you went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks and you're not good at hitting, but we're gonna live and we're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and it's gonna be the same thing over again. But Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is just enjoy it, and that's probably what you get a lot. Probably the cliche answer, I guess, but like that's. I remember being a little head case, and I wasn't having fun with baseball, and it was whenever I kind of had that switch mentality of like, this is a game I love. I work so hard for it, and like I'm getting in my own way of whenever I get frustrated. So, but yeah, I think that'd be the advice. Long-winded answer, I guess.
No, I think that's a really good way of looking at it because
Mhm.
it's a game. It's what
Yeah,
you're supposed to, if you enjoy it, you're supposed to have fun playing it. So
yeah, it's crazy. I'm somehow professionally getting paid to play a game that 4-year-olds play. So that's wild to me.
Well, on that note, like we were talking earlier about, the love of the game, the aura, the ability to have this game that is so different from every other game because of all the little nuances. So, like, what do you think it is that, fans like myself love, and fans like yourself and people who are able to continue to play this game at a higher level? Like, what is it about baseball with all those little nuances that just reels the true fans in and makes us love it 24/7, 365?
I mean, I think it's that. I mean, it's a little. There's a little bit of that adrenaline rush that you can get from it, and it's that having being down 3 runs with bases loaded, 2 outs, and don't know what's going to happen next. Like it's very suspenseful, and that each pitch heart keeps beating a little bit faster. And whenever you understand baseball, whenever you understand what's going on, it's that much more exciting. And I think that's probably the biggest reason for it. And like with baseball, I was saying earlier, like the only time that you don't have a chance to win a baseball game is whenever the last strike is thrown, whenever that first out is caught. Like from that moment, it doesn't matter if you have a 1% chance of winning. Like you can be down to your last out and still have a chance. And I think it's so unique. Like you don't get that in football. You get 15 minutes, and you know you could be down a touchdown with 2 minutes left and not get the ball back. Like so it's just special in that aspect. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of rules and stuff about baseball that you kind of have to understand in order to get it. But I think that's why people that do love the game keep coming back to it. So
Well, I think that's one thing that, like, not a lot of people understand. Even though we have a pitch clock now, it's not a run out the clock scenario like in
yeah,
football or basketball or anything. And you know, I personally am not a big fan of other sports, but I don't knock anybody who is. But like, to me, I look at it like, in football, you know where the down line is, you know where the goal line is. In basketball, you know where the half court is, you know where your basket is. In hockey, you know where your goal is. And
yeah,
with baseball, it's like all you have is the diamond, and you got to make everything else go.
yeah, absolutely. I guess I haven't thought of it like that. Like it's you never know what's going to happen on a baseball diamond. It could anything could happen. So yeah.
So Peyton, who's your biggest inspiration? With baseball.
Was Man, I mean, I think there's been a ton of coaches that have pushed me, but I mean, I think I had my high school coach. He was there with me all 4 years. He retired the day after I had my final game, so we kind of finished out high school together. And he was he's an incredible man. Like was in the Army Ranger. Could kill a man with his pencil if he wanted to. But had huge heart. Loved us, loved my family, loved baseball. And I mean, I remember with being in high school, and it's Sunday after every single Sunday afternoon. It was like, all right, text Coach Drummond that we're going up to the field. And The only reason he wouldn't go up to the field is because his Packers were playing, and like that's Coach Drummond and his Packers time. Like we don't deal with that. But he always fought for me so hard, and he was always on my side, and he was always right there with me. He's like, I remember there was a time where he was like, he's like, look, you got to go to college. Like, you got a couple looks for the draft, but you're not going to go early. Like, you're going to go late. You got to go to college. You need to get bigger. You need to get stronger. It's like, he was one of the very few people that I listened to all of his advice. And he was a genius too. Like, way too, like, he once tried to show me like the circumference with pi and all the numbers and everything, and he took me to the basketball court and did all that stuff. I was like, okay, Coach Drummond, I don't understand what you're saying. Let's just stick to baseball. But he's probably the person that has really pushed me the most, other than my parents. But he was always there. He's like that second dad to me. So he was always really really pushing me, and he pushed my brother too. So
If you weren't playing baseball, what would you think you'd be doing, or what would you like to do?
I mean, I've always felt like I could, like, my dream post baseball is to be some sort of like broadcaster, or like I want to go back and do sports broadcasting school. Like, I think that would be so cool. Like, I would have to be in sports. I would have to be doing something that's not sitting down. Like, I think that would be so fun, is to, get hooked up with TCU, get hooked up with Wichita State, even like a high school or something, like, and travel around with them, do play-by-play for games. And, I think that'd be the life. Get to talk about baseball all the time. And, it'd be very, that's a passion of mine. Is just being, obviously I've probably talked a little bit too much on some of these answers, but it's just part of what I do, I guess. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that. And I think if I wasn't in the position I am today, that I would probably be fighting to do something like that.
One of the things we do here is different from others, is that we let you be you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk. People, they know about you as a player. They see the stat, know what it is. You can look that up on Baseball Reference, right?
Yeah.
Who is this Payton Tolle guy, and what makes him tick? And why should I follow him? And that's the thing that we try to let you be yourself and talk about all the things that you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, yeah, it's. And I wish I could say, oh man, I'd be in the NFL and I'd be the greatest tight end that ever lived. But no, that's not really what I what I love to do. So it's a baseball for me. So
yeah. And like George was saying, we don't care how much you ramble. We love to get personal. We love, to let the real you come out. And, even myself working with these guys this last year, I spent 7 years in radio and then 12 years in the film industry, and it was fun, but like there was something always drawing me back to baseball. So this last year working with these guys, it's like, it's been some of the funnest times of my life, and I have a blast with it, as much as I'm sure you guys do, coming on and talking to us. But this next question I got for you, I asked Noah Dean this a couple weeks ago, and it was one of the best responses we've ever got on the show. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. The day comes, you get the call that you're going to the show. What's the first thing you do?
I'm calling my dad. I think I'm definitely calling my dad, and then saying that I can cover steaks tonight. You can,
there you go.
We'll go get it. You can go get a nice steak, and you know, like a nice bottle of scotch or something.
There you go.
But yeah, I think probably the first thing I do is probably cry. But but yeah, yeah, I guess we'll figure that out whenever that day comes. So but I'm interested to know what Dean said.
But he said,
It says it's not what he said; it's what he didn't say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so he basically he kind of said the same thing as you. He's call the parents, and then he kind of pauses and he goes, and then the wife, and we're like, no. You know, it was that.
Good. Yeah.
And then we had a
Yeah.
whole little dialogue on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're working on that one, but it's as of right now, it's call dad first. Call dad, and the good thing is like dad and brother are always together, so it's
Mhm.
like you call dad, Charlie's gonna be there too. So little brother's gonna hear just as soon as dad is. So
Put me on speakerphone, Dad.
yeah, dad, I got something really important to say. But
So Peyton, I see the hat.
mhm.
Now, is that a Ford Bronco?
Yep, Ford Bronco.
I've got to ask you, what do you think of the new body style compared to the old body style?
I had a 1990 Ford Bronco. It was my first car, standard. Oh man, that thing! It was a tank, and it had a new problem every 2 months. But it was incredible. I loved it. But the new ones, I it's not the Bronco 2, which is good. You know that little small guy. I do appreciate that. There's some ones out there that I think that people have like kind of done up themselves, kind of painted it different, lifted it different, and I think it's if I had the choice, I'm going with the classic. That's
Mhm.
what I'm doing, but I don't hate it. I don't hate the new ones. So also maybe that's like the safe answer is I don't hate it. So, but it's not going to be that's not my it's not my cup of tea. I'm a classic guy. So
Well, Peyton, we're gonna sit there and go right to the final question. So hopefully, no one's told you what the question is.
oh
Because
boy.
we love to hear the response. So we're gonna go hot tub time machine.
Okay.
You can go back in the time to any error,
Any
and
error.
and it's you on the mound versus any batter you want to face. Who would it be and why?
Oh man, that is because I mean, I feel like the obvious answer to that, or the popular one would be like, well, I want to face Babe Ruth and see just how good he was. Like, could he handle? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that'd be interesting. Or like, because like there's some people that's like, well, I don't want to face him because that just made me feel bad. Like yeah, go face Barry Bonds. Well, why would you want to go face Barry Bonds? Like that's just like yeah, maybe get two strikes on him. I don't know, but like I don't know. Like there'd be like I think I would maybe go back. Maybe childhood Peyton. We'll go back to this. I'll go childhood Peyton, and I'll go face Josh Hamilton, and we'll see how good we do against him, and maybe we'll pump a couple heaters down there just to we're gonna compete with him a little bit. I'm gonna show him what we got, but yeah, like there's some dudes that like I think I'd be okay with not going back and facing. Like Barry Bonds probably up there, David Ortiz, and get David Ortiz in the seventh inning or later. Like I'm okay not doing that one. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's that's a really good question. So maybe I'll have to do my research and really come up with like some really obscure name like David Murphy, and yeah, and
Former Red Sox draftee.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good one.
It's funny because you saying Babe Ruth. I don't think, George, we've ever had that as an answer.
No.
Oh, that's good.
No.
Well,
but Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
It's probably one of our more popular answers for pitchers.
Well, then I'll say Babe Ruth because I want to see if he can hang.
There you go.
But Payton, hey, we want to thank you for coming on. The floor is yours. Tell everybody where they can find you at on Instagram, social media, wherever you want to.
Oh yeah, Instagram is is Rolly Tolle 49, but ROLLETOLLE 49. Same thing on Twitter. At some point those will change. I gotta, actually, I try to do a little play on words like Rolly Poly, Rolly Tolle. It works, but. And then people are like, "Why is it like that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I thought I was cool when I was 16, but yeah, I'm out there. You can just try to, I don't know, you can AI look me up or something. I don't know. I'm out of the loop on everything in there. So, but Rolly Tolle those are the tags. So, but thank you guys so much for having me. I love doing this. It's so much fun. So thank you guys, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. So.
Oh well, we always love to have people come on as they graduate and go and move up in the farm system. So we're definitely going to be reaching back out to you again.
No, I love that. So,
but guys, all of our podcasts will be live tomorrow on your way to work. You got that drive. We're going to be on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on YouTube right now. So make sure you head on over to our store. And since we have Payton on here, since he was the highest pitcher drafted by the Red Sox since 2017, we're going to go and hear where to buy our Halkamania shirt from the man himself, Jonathan Papelbon.
Hey, what's up? This is Jonathan Papelbon, 2007 World Champ with the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox all-time saves leader, 6-time All-Star, Red Sox Hall of Famer. And I just want to say go to the website, bses617.square.site. The Pesky Podcast, myself, we are giving away Halkamania t-shirts at 20% off, man. The charity, the Caritas Family Solution, it's going to that, so it's going to a great cause. So y'all go get your shirts. Get ready for Halkamania. Tanner Houck going to be an all-star this year. Maybe future Red Sox Hall of Famer like myself. So go get it, baby. Halkamania.
So, but guys, thanks for sitting there and giving us a chance to come into your radio. But for the OG, for Brandon, for Payton, and for myself, thanks for stopping by the Pesky Podcast.
I'm going to tell you a story